And Michael, would you also explain how you got that auspicious position to be helping them out?
I fell into it. I said yes. That was probably the problem. We've probably come down a few rungs from Ella Lewis. I've been an attorney for about 4 months, so I'm not sure I have what she does. In a room full of lawyers, you probably shouldn't listen to what I have to say. I'm the least experienced person in here. So, but they asked me to come down here. I'm from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, in Wilkes County, and they asked me to come down and speak on all the Democratic judges' behalf. So I'm from Wilkes. I work for the McElwee Law Firm in Wilkesboro. It's kind of an old law firm. They used to represent Lowe's Hardware before Lowe's got so big that they moved to Mooresville. But yeah, so, so we've fallen on hard times with the firm. We used to have this big company, and now not the same anymore. But I actually recall being here 2 years ago, speaking for Judge Urban during that campaign. The last time he tried to run for Supreme Court, and we lost. And I think a lot of folks in this room know why we lost, because of all that money that was spent, the super PAC, the jingle advertisement with the justice chasing the criminals down the highway. I think a lot of you folks remember what happened, and we're probably poised to see a lot more of that in the election cycle. We already saw Robin Hudson face that in the primary with a misleading advertisement about child molesters and comparing her to that, and just trying to taint her name with that. So we have to be ready and we have to be vigilant, because these are some of the most important races on the ballot. We're so used to president and United States Senate and all those things, but some of the most important races are, like Susan talked about, at the end of the line, where after we decide school vouchers or after we decide all these issues, they come there. Whether it's marriage equality or it's voting rights, they go to the courts. At the end of it, after all the work that we do and the yard signs that we put up and the phone calls that we make and the doors that we knock on, it all goes to one room and to a handful, maybe a dozen people deciding what happens in our lives. So here at the very end of the ballot are a few races. They won't have D or R beside it. It's going to be a couple names. The folks in here know who these people are. Some of you may know some of the candidates better than I do. This guy was saying he's close friends with Jimmy Urban. Some of you people know, because I've been only around here 28 years on this earth. Y'all been around a while. Y'all know who the candidates are. I apologize for that. But you know what's at stake. You know what's at stake in this race, even more than I do. And but I can come in here and I can tell you all about Sam Urban or Lucy Inman, and you're going to like Lucy Inman, who's a Superior Court judge out of Raleigh, and she used to be a music journalist. And she used to live in California when her husband went out there, and she represented several celebrities and things like that. And she came back, and she's been one of the best Superior Court judges in North Carolina. She's running for the Court of Appeals. You have Sherry Beasley, and you have Justice Robin Hudson, and you have Mark Davis, who are on the ballot. But we know about them. And I didn't come down here from Wilkes County to read their Wikipedia page, because I know that you didn't come here tonight to find out something you could get from Google. I think we need to talk about what's at stake and what we can do about it. Because I know where I'm from, I don't like going into court every day, in the district court, and seeing people that I grew up with, neighbors, friends, high school friends, and seeing them in court, for drug charges or for this or that, or divorce or all these things, because our community's falling apart. And it's been doing that for 20 years now, since I can remember, and it only gets worse. When I was in law school down in Charlotte, I worked as a journalist, as a political reporter. I wanted to be a music reporter, but they said, no, you should write about what you know about. So, all right, I'll write about politics. So I did that down in Charlotte. And I had to cover the 2012 election. I had to cover Pat McCrory. I had to cover all those folks, Dan Forrest. So I would travel the state, and I would meet these people, and I would interview them, Tom Tillis, all these people, got to know them. And on election night, I was at the Westin Hotel in Charlotte, this big, fancy hotel that they wouldn't normally let me into unless I've got a press pass on. I'm up here, upstairs in this fancy hotel, watching the election returns come in at the McCrory Victory Party. And there's Mark Sanford in the audience. There's all these Republican people. And I didn't fit in very well. But I'm sitting back there at the laptop watching these returns come in with an eye on the Judge Urban race, because I, volunteered and I'd helped him a little bit. And we thought it was going to be close. And at the very beginning, Judge Urban was up. And what was running through all our minds is, how much money was enough money on their part? How much money is it going to take to buy this race? So we watched it for a couple hours, and sure enough, we know what the result was. And sitting there, you know, with McCrory up on the stage and seeing those results, I knew, as bad as things are now, where I'm from, they're about to get worse. And we know that they have. We know what the Republicans in the legislature have done. We know what the governor's done, or what Art Pope has let him do. We know these things. But we have a chance to fight back just a little bit in this election. We may not take back the legislature. We probably won't. We don't get a shot at McCrory for another couple years when another Cooper gets to run for that office. And I better see some of your faces there then, voting for a Cooper. But we can do a few things here. We can support these judges. We can elect Ervin to the Supreme Court. We can re-elect Robin Hutz. We can re-elect Sherry Beasley. We can re-elect Mark Davis. We can do those things. We can win a couple seats, maybe a couple around here in Buncombe County. We know that. And we're here tonight because we want to help. So what do we do from here to tomorrow, and the 2.5 months that we have left? I know we can do a little bit more. The folks in here probably do more than anybody else in the entire community. The women in here, the Democratic women. So all I'm asking you to do is a little bit more, and that's a big ask. Maybe I'm going to have a sign-up sheet at the end, and maybe you can put your name on that. So maybe when you're already out there on election day, you're already out there with 4 or 5 candidates, you know, people running locally, the state senate, the state house, maybe you can hand something out for a judge. Maybe you can put a Sam Ervin sign up. That's all we're going to ask. I'm going to have that sign-up sheet. And I know some people, because they had to have change to eat, they might have some more money on them. I'm going to ask for some money at the end of the night. Just a few bucks. I can take $50 in cash, or I can take a check if anybody has a check on them. But we have to. When I came out here 2 years ago, I started railing on all this money in politics and how bad it is and how we got to fight back about it and how great the world would be if we didn't have money. But this time, we have to play by their rules. If we want to change the rules, we have to win the game. We have to write the rules after we win the game. But we have to beat them on their turf by their rules this time. And that's going to take some money. So I know some of you have some money tonight, and I know you're going to have some money in the next 2.5 months. You're going to have to spend it. Whether it's $5 or $10 or $100 or $1,000. You're going to have to donate it this time. 2 years from now, they're going to make it tougher to vote. Folks that we know are going to be disenfranchised. This time we're just up against money. Next time we're up against money, and half of the people we know won't be able to vote. So we have to beat them this time and start changing those rules back. But it's up to you. It's up to you. You're here tonight because you care, and I came from North Wilkesboro because I care. But we know people who don't. We know people who don't know who these judges are, who couldn't pick the Democratic candidate from the Republican candidate, Ola Lewis from the other guy running. And I got to give her credit. She quoted Shirley Chisholm, yes. Unbought and unbossed, and that takes some guts in this room. And I appreciate you coming here. That was wonderful.
One of my heroes.
Right. But we know what we have to do, and all I'm here to do is just to nudge you in the right direction. I'm one of the least experienced lawyers here. You know, I'm not running for anything. I never have. But you folks know what to do and what it's going to take to win. So, you know, I can ask you to do the sign-up sheet, but don't do it if you don't want to. Don't donate money if you don't want to. This is about what you want to do for the future of North Carolina. So do what you can. Do what you think is right. And I thank you for having me. And I'm sorry for taking up so much time.